The sea has never been friendly to man. At most, it has been the accomplice of human restlessness. Joseph Conrad. Oh, loyal subjects. Loyal subjects. Ooh. 26th February, exaltation. The traveler is always returning. One who does not is no traveler. The optional exaltation ending is now available. This is found in play and not selected as an ambition. Interesting. Loyal subjects, welcome back to Sunless Sea. This is Chris of the California Kings, also known as Idaho Jack on Steam. I'm coming back because I decided I wanted to take a look at something that I have not looked at previously in the early access. So this is my first foray into recording the full access game. And by the way, welcome, and thank you for the demand of wanting some more videos. A number of you have sent us some messages asking for some more Sunless Sea videos, so I deeply thank you, and I'm looking forward to doing a little bit more content. To kind of start off with, I parked myself at Visage and didn't really start to look into it because I realized that I've only ever been to Visage, the island of Visage, as one mask, so I figured, you know, if we're going to do something, if I'm going to record something interesting, I might as well see what Visage has to offer with the other options that it presents with the masks. Now, Visage, for those of you who remember, when you go to the island, everyone plays a role depending on the mask that they wear. So let's, here we are at the island of Visage. Let's create a port report while I'm here, because I would love to do that. And let's go ashore. Always remember, once you set foot on Visage, you may be here for a little while. So there's a stone monument, flourishing of years. Let's see. All who enter must play their parts. The sign is visible only after you've crossed the threshold. Also, I would like to mention really fast, this is not my first attempt at recording some new material in the full release of the game. There is a fantastic story at the Empire of Hands, dealing with the Vault of the First Emperor, which I went through, and I thought I had recorded it all, but all the footage, it didn't record. I think I hit a button wrong. I hit a button twice or something like that, and it didn't record. So I was really disappointed that I could not bring that to you folks so that you could see that. It was actually a really, really neat story. Actually very tense, very entertaining. So I hope that the story, whatever we find here in Visage, is going to be interesting. Let's check in at the customs house. Excuse me. All visitors must pass one by one through a room guarded by a person in the mask of a moon moth. So let's get a refresher here on Moon Moth explains each mask declares a different intention towards the denizens of Visage and must be accompanied by suitable behavior. This is very important. The frog is for visitors who, though perhaps clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquette, have come in order to observe local ways and to make uncouth comments about them. The locust is for those who seek profit in Visage and will carry away as many goods as possible. You prompt about the bat. Moon Moth hesitates. Bat is an ill-omened visitor, sent as a messenger or a spy. Bat always dies. Okay, so, I have chosen the Locust mask before. I don't really like the idea of being a frog, but I dislike the idea of being the bat more, because if the bat always dies, and I don't want to die, so we're going to be the frog mask. Moon Moth lifts the mask and places it over your head. The eye holes are large, and they are fitted with spectacles. These improve your view of the environment, though you must look bulb-eyed from the outside. There is also a mechanism attached to the mouthpiece which magnifies any sounds you make, even your breathing. You start to thank the Moon Moth, and it comes out as a booming croak. May you profit from your visit in knowledge, says Moon Moth. Its wings fold neatly over its back. Alright. Let's see. Let's go to the Library of Parts. Stupid the lintel, enter the dark. A room of heavy stone, guarded by a golden statuette of a woman with outstretched arms. The scroll niches sorted to correspond to a variety of masks. The jackal and the lioness, the crocodile and dung beetle. A woman in the mask of a lotus blossom is standing at a lectern, reading in silence. Let's see here. Let's ask about the purpose of the room. Moon Moth explains. People think it means something like Library of Fragments, but this is wrong. The parts in question are like parts in a play. This is where the denizens of Visage come in order to learn how to perform their masks more accurately, more completely, with a true spirit. So, let's see. Look at the squirrels in a bundling way, because that seems very frog. Heart's guarded. Taking the nearest, you read it aloud. For guarding against the loss of the heart. Moonmoth takes it from you, rolls it tightly, and returns it to its niche. There are as many ways of guarding against loss of the heart as there are different masks, it explains in that same light and indifferent voice. Alright, visit the Flood Court. The Flood Court is a long stone room with 2 ranks of columns on each side. Currently, the court is ankle deep in water, though water stains on the stone show that the flood has often reached higher, sometimes up to the height of your waist. In a raised niche at the far end of the room sits a statue of a man with the head of a ram. He holds a jar from which water flows out onto the floor. Okay. So, not that, obviously. Alright. Show oafish enthusiasm for this wonderful indoor pool. You'll have frogs like pools, right? You exclaim... Grog. You exclaim at how much you admire this room and its excellent pool. Your words are, as always, amplified into a croak. Other masks turn towards you. Crocodile, locust, blossom, crescent moon. But no one speaks. You have garnered a suitable degree of disdain. Moonmoth quietly applauds your performance of froghood. Let's go back in. Looks like pools. Okay. Ask at the purpose of the room. Depth per day. From a corner, Moonmoth picks up a graduated stick. He shows you how a person standing at the end of the room may dip the stick into the water and use it to measure the water level at a pre-selected point, and how the measurements are compared with measurements written on a calendar. If the water level does not match the calendrical position, an assembly of pipes and drains is used to adjust it. It used to be, says the moth, that the water rose and fell of its own accord, and the people before wrote down what height it reached. Now the water is still, but thanks to their actions we can replicate the rise and fall, so as to still be pleasing to the god of flood. It completes its explanation with a half-body bow towards the statue of the ram deity. Do I want to do this one? Let's do it. Have you seen the commuting canal? Moonmoth watches inscrutably while you talk about other bodies of water that have impressed you more than this one. Deeper, clearer, colder, more densely populated with fish. Other denizens move away from you and towards one another. Your social function is well performed. Okay. What? What? Oh. Oh, this is interesting. Trade masks with the Moonmoth. It has been making subtle overtures for some time. You only now understand them. It is keen to go. It draws you aside into a closet in the customs house. Had enough of Visage, it tells you frankly. Here, you take my mask and pretend to be me, and I'll trade in the visitor mask and get on some departing ship. Get my life back. Its face? No, now you see. Her face is aging, but unlined, a lifetime of never needing to use a facial expression. Okay. What do we want to do? Let's visit the house of the chief geometer. Each morning, the man in a cobra mask draws lines in the mud flat with a pointed steel rod. This apportions to each inhabitant a small trapezoidal area from which to harvest mushrooms and to scrape salt. No plot is ever preserved from one day to the next. The man is the chief geometer, the keeper of directions, master of land measures and sea measures. Oh, interesting. Now you've been invited to his home at the time customarily appointed for him to receive those who are not his equal in rank, yet not so far beneath him as to deserve to be ignored. What ceremonial gift will you bring? I like this option here. I like it because, okay, I like this. I like things where I actually have the necessitary requirements. Bring fresh candles. Hunger set aside. The gift is suited to him personally. One can see this by the way that he hesitates regretfully before he performs the rejection that etiquette requires. It was thoughtful, but it is not the gift of moth to cobra, therefore wrong. Great. I'll try again. Let's try this. A poem concerning snakes copied on a new scroll, 800 lines from the scaly denizens of the snake pit. Mixed results. He appears to be pleased by this gift, but it takes him aback as well. Several times he remarks that this sort of merchandise is something he would expect to be brought to the island by a bat. It requires a great deal of chittering and wing folding to persuade him of your moth nature. Great, I'm not going back there! Shit, the Temple of Apis. In the center of the temple is a black bowl with a white diamond on its face. It is tied in place with heavy ropes, and it is wounded in the thigh. From this wound it bleeds copiously, without dying. Oh, hey. Priests gather around the bowl, capturing its blood in cups. Observe and make notes. The priest would be suspicious of anyone else who did this, but you, as Moonmoth, often have a need to narrate the rituals of Visage to newcomers. The explanations in the Library of Parts are not suitable for strangers, and therefore you are expected to compose your own. Alright, and a good choice there. I'm sorry? Enter the hollow of the ear? What do we have here? Ritual. Lead on. It is a festival day. The great stone face has been illuminated from forehead to chin with blazing torches, so that the profile is visible from the side more clearly than you have ever seen it. Flourishing of years is awake, says the genderless figure in the crocodile mask. Awake. Awake now. Interesting, we're walking towards the ear of the... Okay. Fall in line with the others. God, I wish I had a flare. Perhaps you'll need in the darkness where you're going. Just fall in line. Let's see what happens. You go as though you were truly one of them. You carry nothing with you but your mask and your costume. May your heart be as light as a feather, says the woman in the lotus blossom mask as you fall into line behind her. Inside the hollow of the ear, the road you follow leads up through switchbacks along the side of the face, and finally to the ear of flourishing of years, and into the cave that is her ear. The tunnel bends back on itself, and all lights have now been extinguished. There is nothing to guide you but the hand of the person behind you on your back, and the movement of the person in front of you. The one who walks beside you wears a bat mask. Yay! Bats are spies! Bats die. I don't know if I like that. No. Fortunately, the floor of the tunnel is very smooth, and presents no stumbling blocks. Sound carries strangely in this place, however. Sometimes you cannot hear your own footsteps, and sometimes a breath comes back to you audible from someplace ahead in line. Try to run, which seems like a bad idea. Continue. There is a secret in the dark. Okay. The line. The footsteps of the people are steady and synchronized, and you go together. For how many years has this been done, and for how many will it be done in the future? Watch your step here, says Batmask to you in an undervoice. Its accent is the accent of Wolfstack docks. Floor's about to get squishier. And sure enough, it does. At last the tunnel opens out. You and all the other congregants spread out in a cavernous space. The voice speaks in the darkness, a ritual preparation. Here at the new year we gather under the one mask of flourishing of years. Her face is turned to the gods. Protected by her mask, we may remove our own. Protected by her script, we may speak outside our parts. Here and there is the sound of people fumbling with ties and strings. Your own face feels different with the mask off. I don't have a lamentable relic. Wait and listen. As there are things here to learn, perhaps to your advantage. Or receive the confidence of a stranger's holy. Like the fight to Urchagogel, no. Receive the confidence of a stranger as holy. Oh, I don't know what to pick. Wait and listen. Not much for blackmail. You move stealthily through the dark, hearing one knot of conversation and then another. The secrets exchanged do not offer much leverage. You can't see the owners of the secrets. Here and there you catch the smallest fragment of something that might serve you on a future occasion. The memory of a voyage east, a half-rumor about the Carnelian coast, a muttering about the Admiralty. I got 100 fragments out of it. So let us do nothing. Let the ceremony end according to the proper rites. At the end of the hour there comes a woman with a feather of shimmering silver, which she tucks into your hand, symbol of the innocent heart that will not be eaten by the jackal. Then a bell rings and the time of speech is over. You all begin to put your Put your masks back on. It is possible. You cannot know for sure. Then in this cover, someone has exchanged a mask with someone else. Ooh. It is an orderly and perfect line that emerges again from the ear of flourishing of years. If anyone watches from above, they must surely be satisfied. Captivating treasure. I have a secret. Ritual participant. Wow! Boy, am I glad I stopped here. That was something. Interesting. When the other citizens are distracted, you find your way to the familiar customs house and rid yourself of mask and robe. There is satisfaction in laying aside a role well performed. You've lost 10 terror. Wow. Wow. Cool. Man, I knew... Oh. Boy, am I glad I did that. Alright. Oh, man. Captivating treasure. Oh, man. Well, that was something. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh. This game has some surprises sometimes, I swear to shit. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the Isle of Cats because I want some red honey. Wow, okay, so I hope you all enjoyed that that fragment of story. I feel like that was worth capturing on footage, and I'm glad I decided to try and get something new. I'm very disappointed that the Empire of Hands bit I wasn't able to record, and I'm very apologetic for that. I don't know what went wrong there, because it was actually really quite entertaining, and I think everyone who's been wanting a little bit more would have gotten something out of it. But you know, for the most part, something that I think I should really quick address now that I'm thinking about me moving here. No, don't go there. You will notice up here is that I am now at 7 out of 7 crew instead of where I normally had a maximum crew of 10. There is a reason for that, and we will go here so I can show you something new that has been added in the update with the full access release is that you have the ability to go to Polythreme and you can get clay stokers. According to the description here, the trio of clay stokers will reduce crew requirements but also crew capacity and will slightly increase engine power. They are fitted to an auxiliary slot. When they are not in use, they will stand patiently, hands by their sides, flat, gray, eyes unreadable. One will say sometimes, "I like it when it is quiet." This is fantastic, and I highly recommend going to Polythreme and spending the 300 Echo to get these guys. If you'll listen, eagle-eared loyal subjects will notice that the sound of my engines are actually very muted. For whatever reason, utilizing the clay stokers mutes the sound of your engines. It really turns them down. I don't know why, but it is noticeable. But it certainly increases your engine power. It makes crossing the Unterzee a lot quicker and a lot easier. Yes, it does lower your crew requirements, but I have found no downside to that thus far in my travels across the Z. Have I got anything for you? No, I don't have anything for you at the moment. Okay, so first let's see if I can get some red honey. Is there anything going on here? Oh, yes. First, let's get the port report. I'm not going to the Abbey because that's where that say. Well, let's just go here real quick since I'm recording anyway and see if anything. What is it? Oh. Entering the brothel is like sliding into the dream of a surface orientalist. Jewel-embroidered cushions, bright silk drapes, gilded statues of elephants, sun bears, and clouded leopards. Silver censers release curling plumes of rose-scented smoke into the air. The courtesans are red-lipped and coal-smudged. When you catch their eyes, they smile back at you with professional interest. Your actions will attack the Pirate King's notice. You need 5 Pirate King's notice to gain an offer from a patron. And I have 5. So, I'm meeting with the King's Claw. Okay, I've got time on the timer. Let's go see what this is. The Claw keeps a suite in the maze of corridors above the brothel. The King's Claw tells you to call them Izuri. They are dressed in azure silk and wearing clawed rings of enameled metal and ivory on the fingers of their right hand. They are very beautiful, if you like them sharp and glittering and ambiguously gendered. You have caught the interest of the Pirate King, and therefore my interest as well, they say, fixing you with an amber-eyed glaze. You seem capable enough, and I have need of a capable friend. A change of patron. Oh, yes, you did some work for Zaira, didn't you? Ah, no matter, she and I look for different things in the Z, Captain. Isri strokes a jeweled hand down your cheek. You shall be mine now. All traces of the lady of the cage is wiped clean. How lovely, hmm? They do not seem to require a response. You slip away, suppressing a little shiver. Visit Isri's office. Your patron beckons you into their office above the honey tongue. I have a delivery for the alarming scholar in London, they tell you, over a meal of fungus blossom and sea lily soup. A delivery that needs to pass beneath the notice of the revenue. Isri places a casket on the table and slides it open with a dull click. Inside are vials of what is unmistakably red honey. It gleams malevolently. You are hardly squeamish about smuggling red honey. If you change your mind, you could always turn the shipment over to the Admiralty instead. The scholar will give you some notes in return. Bring them to me, and I shall be most pleased. Isri slides the casket over to you, and very pointedly does not enumerate the consequences of returning without the notes. Instead, they smile too wide, and they shiver. Yeah. Well, I will not be, fucking with that guy. Girl, person, they, ambiguous gender. Very important to note that. Like I did with Zaira. Okay, well, maybe I've stumbled upon something new. Sweet. Well, it's back off to Fallen London we go. And that's a journey which you folks do not need to see. Anyways, thank you so much for the return here to the Unterzee. You know, I did the early access bit, and I covered that game as best as I could. And this is not necessarily a new game. And while you'll notice that this is part 38. Where I left off with part 37, because I'm not starting over. This is technically a continuation of that same captain that I had in my early access coverage of this game. This is just us going through full release, and I don't plan on doing regular updates with this, but just updates wherever I find anything interesting. And if my dealings in Red Honey and Visage continue to lead me to interesting places, then I will record that. The Sigil-Ridden Navigator is where I left off on part 37. I need some relics, I need some artifacts, I need a few things in order to get me into Frostfound. If I can find those things, then you will be seeing that storyline sooner versus later. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again for watching all the other Sunless videos that I did. I hope that this will live up to expectations. Since you folks wanted some more, we have more. And I look forward to bringing you more content as I find something of interest. So we will see you on the next episode, whenever that may be. Thank you so much for watching.